Hi, I'm Karen. Welcome to Cooking from the Heart. As you can see, today we are not in my kitchen. Instead, we have traveled to the home of my beautiful friend Linda, also known as the Carnitarian. Linda, I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Well, thank you so much for coming. I'm so happy to have you here.
Well, as the Carnitarian, would you say that's more of a short-term diet or a lifestyle?
Well, for me, it's more of a lifestyle. It's a way of eating that gives me lots of energy and allows me to stay healthy and just get on with my day.
That sounds great, and I cannot wait to hear more about it. We'll take a bite out of the Carnitarian lifestyle when we come back.
Kick it.
This episode of Cooking from the Heart is made possible by Dr. Johnny's Appliances.
Welcome back. We are here with Linda, the Carnitarian, learning all about what it means to be the Carnitarian, as well as some really fun ways to work with meat. Linda, what are we making today?
So we are going to start out with carnivore churros.
Ooh.
I know, this is delicious. This is the kind of a thing that you would find in a street fair. But today, we're staying meat-based. We're going to be making it with pork belly.
So it's not quite like you'd see at the fair.
No, you're definitely going to be getting a healthier version of a churro here.
All right, well, let's get started. So what are we doing here?
So first thing we do is we start with our pork belly, which is a very fatty cut of meat. For this version of carnivore churros, we're going to be using a skinless pork belly. And what you want to do is just have it sliced and laid between two cutting boards.
Okay.
What we want to do really to get a crispy churro is increase the surface area of the pork belly. So the way we do that is we're going to create this accordion cut.
Ooh.
Yeah. And we're going to slice it on a diagonal in one direction. We're going to flip it over and slice it on a diagonal in the other direction. And what that's going to do is create this lattice effect. And what you'll see is the pork belly will stretch. So all the heat can get in that pork belly and really like render out some fat and give us some crispiness. It's going to make it delicious.
All right, well, show me how you're doing the cuts. And I also want to know, so as the Carnitarian, you get to eat a lot of bacon, right? I'm jealous.
I definitely do. We definitely eat a lot of bacon. It's definitely not what people think that it is like an unhealthy food. It serves me very well. So let's get to cutting.
I'm excited to see this accordion effect.
All right, so what you want to do is just make sure that you're going to slice it about 1/4 inch is what we're looking for. Slice it on a diagonal.
You have to have a nice sharp knife for that too.
Absolutely. Also helps if your pork belly is very cold.
Okay, yeah, so it's not so wiggly.
Right, exactly. Because the colder the fat on this, the firmer it's going to be. So I'll flip that over and I'm going to let you do some cutting. I'm going to just start you off. But you see how we've kept our knife in the same direction?
Yeah, I was wondering if you had to like do it the opposite.
So a lot of people think you have to do it the opposite to get the stretching effect, but if you do it the opposite, your pork belly is going to just fall apart. So we're going to keep that same distance. And what these two cutting boards are doing is raising up our cuts. So we're doing like a shallow cut on the pork belly and slicing almost all the way through, but not completely all the way through.
All right, here we go.
So yeah, you give it a try.
Let's see. I'm going to smooch in here a little bit. I like your nice sharp knives. And I can cut all the way down to the cutting board.
Right to the cutting board. And that's going to get us just more than halfway through. The pork belly stays connected. Wait until you see it stretch.
Oh my gosh. So when did you start being the Carnitarian? I have to know.
Oh,
it's been a while, right?
It's been a long while. I started this 7 years ago.
7 years of just,
you can believe.
Is it just meat or do you also do dairy and meat, animal products? What does that mean?
So it's a meat-based diet. Anything that is animal-based food. So things like meat, eggs, fish, cheese, some dairy is all included.
So you don't garden a lot?
Not a lot of gardening.
So how did I do? Did I cut it right?
I think you did great. So here's the magic, right? So let's see, we just cut this perfectly, and you're gonna see how when we pull it apart, we get this great accordion effect. Yeah, so what we've done is increase the surface area here. And when we put this in the oven, you're gonna get a great crispness to this.
Can I pull it out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at this. It reminds me of a slinky. I want to put it down the stairs. Now that's really cool.
It is.
Oh, and you can see through it. Look, there's little holes.
Right, and so by cutting almost all the way through, but not all the way through, we've created all these air gaps in there, and so we're gonna get a great tender crisp on this.
Oh my gosh, so what do I do with this?
We're gonna stretch
We're going to give that to you.
We're gonna uncurl it, and we're gonna
okay.
stretch it out and put it on our rack. And this is gonna roast in the oven.
So you're not deep frying it like the festival churros.
Right,
So it's
no.
much healthier.
It's definitely healthier. I mean, we are cutting the carbs here.
Let's get some more done. I'm excited. I can't wait to taste them. My stomach's growling.
All right, so now we've got the last one cut and stretched. We're just gonna get it on our rack, our
Perfect.
tray, and then we're gonna wash our hands. We'll throw a little salt on here, and then we're gonna pop them in the oven.
Great.
And grab our chunky salt, and we're just gonna get that in. Look at that pork belly, it's just falling over.
These look amazing. Oh my gosh. And that was pretty quick. How long did you have them in the oven?
So we do these at 350 degrees for half an hour, and then we crank up the heat to 425 for just another 10 minutes and get them really brown and crispy.
And do you add anything to that?
Yeah, so now we're gonna sprinkle it with a little bit of Ceylon cinnamon, get that fair flavor on.
So as a carnitarian, you can use cinnamon and spices?
Yeah, absolutely. It really is just all depending on individual tolerance as far as spices go. I tend to do very well with most spices. The thing that I try to avoid most is fiber, but there's really very little fiber in these spices.
Yeah, I guess there's not much to it as far as
Yeah,
how
it's
much
really
you put on
just for flavor.
Boy, those smell so good.
So now we are going to give you the authentic
Bear
treatment.
bags.
Yes, absolutely. So we want to give you the full experience. So we're going to take these pork belly churros and really give you that experience.
I have bad eyes, so it looks like a regular churro to me.
It is like, this is amazing to me. Wait till you try it.
Wow, I want to hold this.
That
That
that.
looks delicious.
I'm going to grab one for myself.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready? Pork belly churros. Let's cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Linda. I cannot wait to sink my teeth into this, but I don't want to talk with my mouth full. So don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're getting fishy with the Carnitarian. Welcome back. We are here with Linda, the Carnitarian, and I'm learning all about what that means to be the Carnitarian. And we did some really fabulous churros earlier, and now we're going to do something with fish.
Yes, I'm excited to show this to you. This is pork panko crusted monkfish.
Monkfish was the poor man's lobster, right?
Yeah.
Which is ironic because lobster used to be the poor man's lobster. It was, you know, but
Not as cheap as it used to be.
right.
So yeah, monkfish to me reminds me actually more of a scallop than a lobster, but it has that tender sweet flavor, so people do liken it to lobster. We're gonna take this monkfish, we're going to first slice off this pink membrane, and then we're going to slice it into medallions and then fry it the way you would do a cutlet.
So as a Carnitarian, you could eat all kinds of seafood?
Absolutely. I mean, everything is included because what I'm doing basically is following a meat-based diet. Fish is definitely included. Eggs are included, and we've got all the different meats.
When you go to the doctor, now after 7 or 8 years of doing this,
Right.
what does he say?
Well, you know, my doctor is really happy with what I'm doing. I've had all the blood tests done over the years, and everything is looking really good. There's no need to worry about high cholesterol. When you're on a carnivore diet, most people will find resolution of a lot of health problems. And
Really?
high blood pressure is one of them. Prediabetes is one of them. It's such a long list of things that can be improved with a meat-based diet that if I listed them all out, you'd think I was telling you tales.
Now, did you know this ahead of time, or is it just a happy benefit?
I had originally done this for 30 days just to try and lose a few pounds and maybe lose a little bit of inflammation. But I found so many other health benefits. but actually everything that we need as humans is available to us in its most bioavailable form in the meat. So all of the meats have everything that everyone needs. So there's really no reason to force your kids to eat veggies.
So it looks like you're about done slicing.
Yes.
Right? So what's next?
So at this point, what we're going to do is a 3-part dip where we're going to put the medallions of monkfish into an egg white powder that's just dried egg white.
I was going to ask you what that was because it looks like flour.
Right. But if we are going grain-free, grain comes from plants, obviously, from the wheat plant. Egg white powder is perfect substitute for flour when you want to do that flour egg wash breadcrumb. So I'm going to ask you can just crack a couple of eggs for me.
Which color should I do?
You know, they're actually identical on the inside.
I'm scared if I'm going to pick one, they're going to fall. Okay, we'll do this one and we'll do this one because it's close.
And then instead of regular breadcrumbs, which would generally be made from wheat bread, we're using a pork panko, which is basically a crushed up pork rind.
It looks just like breadcrumbs.
Right.
And it looks exactly like you wouldn't know if you didn't know.
And it's going to give us an exceptional crunch. All right, so we just take our medallions of monkfish and we're just going to lightly dust them with the egg white powder and then put them into the scrambled egg.
I can do the breadcrumbs.
Oh, there
You're going to plop them in there and then we're just going to put them here on this little cutting board?
Yeah.
So once we get these breaded, what's the next step?
The next step is to get them into the hot tallow. So tallow is in our frying pan. We've melted it down and we're going to pan sear these medallions for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side.
Well, if you want to get started on these, I can keep the breading process going.
Great.
But tell me first, what's tallow?
So tallow is rendered beef fat. So it's a great cooking fat.
What I love about the recipes so far is they all seem so simple. Not a lot of ingredients, not a lot of measuring. That's awesome.
Yeah, we really try and keep it simple. You know, with a carnivore diet, you just need a few ingredients. Really, it's just about meat plus heat. So we're adding this, you know, we're getting some crunch.
I love it. So you're gonna get these in the hot tallow.
Yes, so let's just put them in.
Ooh, I love that first sizzle when you first put something in. You know it's gonna be good.
They come out so crunchy.
Now, how long will these be in there for?
So these are going to take about 2 or 3 minutes each side. We want to cook them until they're about 135 degrees. So I will use a probe thermometer just to make sure that they are cooked all the way through. But 135 is a good spot to take them out. You don't want them to be overcooked.
While those are cooking, we can kind of clear this up because I think we're doing a sauce.
Yes.
Great.
We're going to top these with a harissa lime sauce.
Awesome.
So we are going to use a half a cup of Greek yogurt and we're going to mix that with about a tablespoon of lime juice. That's going to come from a half a lime.
Okay.
And then we've got a teaspoon of harissa spice.
Ooh, so it's going to have a little kick to it.
It's going to be awesome.
Well, I love that you're making a sauce too, because when I'm thinking carnitarian, just that term, I'm just thinking a big old hunk of meat.
It's really a matter of preference. You can do a very simple carnivore, which is just meat, or you can add things like dairy, spices. It's definitely not a boring way of eating. I feel like there are so many foods that I can eat, and I really enjoy eating this way.
So we talked a little bit about kind of if you're going to miss flavors, but when you switched over to this type of lifestyle and diet, did your body have any sort of reaction? Did it take a while to adjust to that?
I was pretty lucky. I mean, I was never a big carbohydrate addict. A lot of people who come from a background of being a sweets addict will have a hard time transitioning to a carnivore diet because they're legitimately in withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
It's no joke. So it's a little hard for about 2 weeks and then you adapt.
I think I could handle the no sweets, but the bread. I mean, I'm Hispanic, you know, you stop eating bread, they kick you out.
Yeah, for me, I was never like a huge lover of bread. I mean, I can give or take those sorts of things. But people generally find that the trade-off is absolutely worth it. Mm-hmm. So you get rid of those breads, get rid of the pasta, and you're just so much healthier that you don't feel the need to go back.
Years without bread. All right. All right, well, let's get these on the plate. I'm kind of excited to try them. So when people think of carnitarian or carnivore, they'll typically think of beef, but what are some other interesting, more exotic meats you've had?
Well, so you can sort of just become as adventurous as you want to be. Any animal is fair game. I've had ostrich, I've had alligator. Lamb is a big favorite. It's not too strange, and that's about as far as most people go.
Well, I like that there's a big variety that you can have.
Absolutely.
And I'm ready to try this delicious
All
monkfish.
right, let's cut into this one and see how we did.
Wow, you can hear that knife even crunching through the panko.
Absolutely, that panko gives such a good crisp.
It looks just like a regular breaded piece of fish.
Yeah, that pork panko really gives it that traditional crunch, and they become like this wonderful substitute for a chicken nugget. They're super dippable.
I cannot wait to try this dipping sauce. Now don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're gonna have ice cream like you've never had it before. Welcome back to Cooking from the Heart. We have spent the day in the kitchen with Linda the Carnitarian. This has been so much fun.
I have loved having you here. You're gonna love this. We are making a savory pumpkin spice ice cream. We're gonna top it with a chocolate protein sauce and add a little bacon for garnish.
Wow, so I have never had savory ice cream.
Well, it's definitely a little bit different than a standard sugar sweetened ice cream, but it's got great flavor to it because of the pumpkin spice. We are going to add, first, we've got 16 ounces of heavy cream. We're going to put in 6 egg yolks, and then we'll get to our spices.
So it seems like it's kind of the standard ice cream or custard ingredients for the base.
It really is. It's very similar. I don't bother cooking the egg yolks, but you can do that if you are worried about the raw egg yolks. But this is a standard base. We're just leaving out sugar.
Tell me, Linda, what is a trip to the grocery store like for you?
Oh, well, basically what we do, carnivores do, is we just sort of shop the perimeter. So that's where you're going to find your meat, your eggs, your dairy. Those are the most healthful foods in the supermarket. We just leave out the vegetables and the fruit.
So you don't have to go to any specialty stores or a butcher or anything to get anything?
No,
fancy.
Absolutely not. The butcher counter at any supermarket is going to have everything that you need right there.
And it's good, get to know your butcher. It's good to be friends with them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Know your butcher on a first name basis and you'll get the best cut. This, just to let you know, we're adding in some vanilla here. We've got the pumpkin spice already put in, and this is some vanilla extract. And just for you, I'm going to add a little bit of sweetener. I keep this out, but I'm going to put in a little bit of stevia for you, just to add a little bit of sweetness. We've got a 1/4 teaspoon of stevia.
Now, if someone wanted to ease their way into this type of ice cream, could they put a little bit more the first time and then maybe a little bit less and then eventually not?
Absolutely. Like, I don't need that sweet flavor anymore at all. So this is going to be very minimally sweet for you. And you can do this with no sweetener at all, and it's still going to be delicious.
Well, this seems pretty simple. You just dump it all in the blender?
Absolutely. Just put your ingredients in there. We're going to give it a quick stir in the blender, and then we're going to put it in the ice cream machine.
I'm going to push the button. Or actually, let's flip the switch. Look at that go.
That's all we need. We just need a quick stir. Just get everything incorporated. We don't want it to foam up or anything. So we're done. So now that we've got this all blended, the next thing is we just put it into the ice cream machine.
Great. Well, I will clear some space for you while you grab that. I love how small this is, because ice cream makers usually are bigger, or you have to have the bucket with the salt.
Oh yeah, this machine makes it so easy. You don't need any salt, and it's all in one. I love it.
Awesome. Well, let's get that in here.
And then we'll just turn on the machine, get our timer going. This is going to be about 40 minutes, and get started.
And you don't want it to go too long. It'll get
Right. If you any kind of ice cream machine, if you let it go too long, the ice cream hardens up and it's a little bit hard to stir.
It's kind of loud. So
Yeah.
why don't we move this aside and get working on those toppings?
Great. What we're going to top it with, instead of doing like sweet little Purine cookies, we're going to do some twisty bacon.
Ooh.
I'm going to take regular bacon. I'm just going to slice it up the middle just to get it a little bit thinner. And then we're going to twist it and make kind of like carnivore candy canes. Twist them up. This is the secret of twisty bacon. You just twist your bacon. We're going to put a little bit of salt on it. I've got here low sodium bacon, so I can use the salt that I love the most. A little bit of salt just gives that more intensity to the flavor. We are going to put them in at 350 for about 10 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad. Can we get it in the oven?
Yes, absolutely.
Great.
All right, so now that we've got the bacon in the oven and our hands are washed, let's get to the chocolate sauce.
What is in this chocolate sauce?
This has 3 ingredients in it, just beef protein, stevia, and cocoa. So it's a really simple formula, but it is your basic protein powder that you add to a shake. So we've got 3 tablespoons of that protein powder and 2 tablespoons of water, and we're just gonna mix them together.
Great.
This sauce has come together really nicely, and the ice cream is just about done, and the bacon is finished. So we're ready to get this ice cream sundae together.
This looks delicious. The ice cream looks so creamy, and I love the bacon.
Oh, you're gonna love how this comes together. So let's get it assembled.
All right.
We are going to just scoop out this ice cream. This is so rich. Let's see, I'm gonna put one for myself. So I'm gonna give one
It's
for
not all for
you.
me.
No, I'm making one for me too.
All right.
Ooh. Look at
So
that.
yeah, that looks like there'd be about, gosh, maybe even 5 servings out of that.
Yeah. All right, and now we're going to top it with our chocolate sauce.
The best part. I don't know. Bacon's pretty good too. I think it's all the best part.
I'm telling you, this just takes it up a notch.
Here you go. Hold up yours.
Thank you.
Do you eat this all the time?
I don't. This is definitely a treat, but everyone in the family loves this. When I make this, they want more.
Awesome. I can't wait to try it.
Okay, and then let's take our twisty bacon. This is cooled down.
Look how cute that is.
That.
Gosh, look at that. I love that.
One for you, one for me. So let me grab a spoon for myself.
All right, hurry up because I'm excited.
I know, I don't want it to melt.
All right, here we go.
Let's try it.
Whoa. Hello.
Oh, I lost my bacon.
No. Look at that. It total
I know,
magic
it
shell. All
gels
right, here we
out.
go. That's delicious.
Right? It's surprisingly good, right?
Yes. I mean, I'm not surprised, but it's Linda, I have had so much fun in here with you, and I am so glad we finally got the chance to cook together.
I'm so excited that you came. I'm glad we got to cook all these great things. I can't wait to just finish and eat all this.
Me too. Now, if someone wants to learn more about you, the Carnitarian, and the Carnitarian lifestyle, where can they go?
Well, you can find me on Instagram, and there I share all of my recipes, cooking techniques, and you can find out more information about the carnivore diet there as well.
And if you've missed any of this or want to catch any other episodes, you can find them all on yourview.com. Don't forget to like me on Facebook and on Instagram. But most importantly, remember, you don't have to be a trained cook or chef to make marvelous meaty meals for you and your family. You just have to cook from the heart. Let's eat.
3, 2.
So we've got the ice cream making in the maker, and we're gonna redo that. Is what we're gonna do. Good friend Linda Salant, and I'm so excited to see you here today.
I'm so happy.
We need to redo that
Okay.
because I wouldn't see you here today because I'm in your kitchen. Wow, that looks delicious. I can't do this anymore. Sorry.
Your mind, your body.